Hello everybody, welcome to my first tutorial for Scratch. Today we're going to be making a really simple game. I thought we'd just start off with this, and let's just make a simple treasure. I hope that's how you spell treasure hunt, or treasure, I don't know. Treasure hunt game. Obviously you don't have to call it that. And I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible. I don't want this to go on forever, like part 5. I'm going to try and keep this one part, maybe 2. Oh yeah, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a sprite called map. We are going to make a simple map, which is going to be simple, obviously. So I am just going to make a square. You can kind of make this however you want. It doesn't matter. And you kind of just draw it from, like, if you look like a bird. So, and you want to make everything small. So let's say you're making a bush. You want to make the bush small, just like that, right there. And the reason why we're going to make this small is because we are going to enlarge the map later to make it look big. So then it's like a huge map, and we're going to have a whole scrolling thingy. So let's get some bushes everywhere. I'm not going to go on full detail. You can put however many details you want in your game. So yeah. Yeah, that's probably all I'm going to do because I'm lazy and I don't feel like doing much else. Alright, so the next thing you're going to do is create a new costume right here. And go this and paint. You're going to click that and you're just going to leave it. That's all you're going to do. We want a blank costume. The reason for that is because if we set to this costume right here and we try to set the size to, let's say, 500, Scratch program won't let us because they want this map or sprite to fit the screen. So they don't actually set it to 500. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to switch to number 2 that is blank. And since it's blank, we can set it to 500 here, as you can see. So we're going to set to there, to this blank costume, we're going to set our size to 500, and then we're going to switch back to our map. And as you can see now, we have a map that is big. Alright, so next, let's get some variables. We're going to call this scroll X. Yay. Alright, so we're going to do that. And we're also going to do, ooh, that's not how you spell scroll Y. So now we have X and Y for that. We are just going to set X to 0 and Y to 0. So that's going to be the position of the map. And we're going to do go to X and scroll Y. So scroll X and scroll Y. So now if we change the scroll X, let's say 10, the map will move too. So that's perfect. The next thing I'm going to do is add a player. So the player here, you can kind of draw whatever you want. I'm going to make my player be a square. He's going to be a nice red square, just like that. And then he's going to have dots for an eyes and a face. But that's what he's going to look like me. I'm a stick man, although he's not a stick man, he's a cube man with a tongue. That's my character right there. Sorry about that noise in the background. The furnace is right behind me, and it's kind of annoying because whenever I try to do recordings, the thing doesn't hear me, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna try and speak over the furnace. For the player, we're gonna need more variables. We're gonna need X, and make sure you click for this sprite only. That's very important. Please ignore what I said there. I made a mistake. Don't make it for this sprite only. Please make it for all sprites. And what we are going to do next is obviously we're going to set x and y to 0. That's the first step. Now we're going to go forever. We are going to set x and set y. First we're going to do x. We have to set x to scroll x minus x. And we're going to do the exact same thing with y. Take one of these minus signs, put switch that scroll y with y. So now that we have that, as you can see, if we were to change the x position, the scroll x here, let me start the project. If we were to change the scroll x here, he moves along with the screen, which is exactly what we want. So that's the first part. So that's what that does. Now what we want to do is add player movement. So we are going to do this. We want 4 ifs, just because. Bear with me here. So we are going to add an up key, down key, all the keys. If you want to do WASD, that's fine too. That won't really matter. Or if you want to do, I don't know, GB space and C. I mean, that could also work. I don't know if anybody uses those keys, or like 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know, but I'm going to use the classic arrow keys. So now we're going to up arrow. Obviously, we want to change the X position by 10 because we're moving upwards. And then since we're in down key makes us move downwards, so we're going to do minus 10. So now over here, oh wait, that's supposed to be Y. I'm sorry, that's me. So the right key is going to be plus 10 because we're moving there, and here is going to be minus 10. So what this does here is that we're going to change our own X position. So if we see here, if I click the left key, we're going to actually move the opposite direction, because when you use this code here, that actually reverses. So we want the up arrow to be minus and the down arrow to be plus. Same with here. What that will give you is this clear movement that we have across the screen. Now there's one problem here. We can go off the screen and our map doesn't move along with us. So what we're going to do is, thank God that furnace turned off. What we're going to do here is that we're going to do set, let's take these, duplicate that. We're going to set this to, shoot. This is exactly where I messed up. Right here I'm just changing the variables so that they're there for all sprites and not just for this sprite only. That way the game can run properly. Okay, so once you're done swapping all of those, you can simply just right here delete your old XY. So, as I was saying, now we can go over here, and we're going to set scroll X to player X and scroll Y to player Y. What that does now is, now that we have a clear moving map, and that is really good for us. But there's one thing I want to add before we move on to treasures that we have to find. The one thing that I'm planning to add is looking around. Now you might be thinking, how are we going to do that in a 2D game? Well, I have this pretty cool thing. We are going to take 2 of these, oh, don't stack them, please don't stack them. Take 2 of these minus thingies. This, right here, right where my mouse is on, or my hand, it's a hand now, you see that? Alright, so now what we are going to do is we're going to set the scroll X to the player X minus the mouse X. We're going to do the exact same thing with the mouse Y. Now that we've done that, we have this. As you can see, I can look around to wherever my mouse is. And at the same time, I can also move around. So that is pretty cool if you ask me. So now that we have that, and we can look around and stuff, the next thing we are going to add is treasures, because this is a simple treasure hunt game right here. Boom! Yeah! Alright, so actually what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna upload a sprite because wait, no, not that. I meant choose a sprite from the library because I don't feel like drawing anything. So you can kind of choose whatever your treasure is going to look like. Obviously, you're going to want it to look like treasures. But me, I am going to choose glasses. That's right. I chose glasses. I don't know why, but I chose glasses. So this is going to be the treasure we are going to be looking for. We have, oh my god. Oh my. What have I done? We're going to be looking for this thing. Okay, so we are going to be looking for these different pair of glasses, which I think, yeah, that's, yeah, glasses. So, what we're going to do is that before we start coding the glasses, we're going to have another sprite. This is going to, let's call this objects. Remember, this could be whatever you want, the treasures. It could be whatever you want. So the objects are going to be different things placed around the map that the treasures are going to be hidden under or behind or whatever. So let's just draw something. I'm going to draw a tree. I'm not, when I'm kind of just making stuff up, I'm not like drawing stuff. I'm not that good. So this is my fallen down tree here. It's very tree looking. There we go. That looks like a tree to me. Doesn't that look like a tree to you? Yeah, okay. So, you can kind of just keep on drawing stuff that you would find outside or inside. If you're making your treasure hunt game on an inside place, that's fine too. So, let me just, you can kind of draw whatever you want. And just be back with you in a moment. By the way, in case you're wondering, this is a car. Yes, that's a car. Yep. Yeah. What the heck am I doing? I mean, what am I doing? I drew this. It's a face. In case you can't tell. I don't know. I have issues. Alright, so with the objects, it's going to be pretty simple. We are going to take, we're going to create a block. And we're going to call this block create the awesome clones of mine. Bruh. Create the awesome clones of mine. You don't have to make it that long. Okay? I just named it that. The name doesn't matter. You can name it like chicken or French fries. You can even name it seal. How about, I don't know, Rubik's Cube. Alright, so before we click OK, because that's what you would probably do right now, we have to click Run Without Screen Refresh. That is very important if you want your game to look good. So what that create the refresh thing, the refresh, I'm going to call it that. The refresh, what that does is that it will run it instantly. So I'm going to compare here. If we did it without run with screen refresh, and we created clones, it would look something like this. Wait. Let me just do this. Let's go to random position. Alright, if we were to do this, then it would look like this. And what you can see is that they all appeared not at once. They all appeared one after the other. Which Scratch does that for animation stuff, which is really awesome, but that's not what we want. We want them to just be there. So what that runs with screen refresh does is that it makes it go like this. That appears instantly, and that is exactly what we want. So let's just get rid of this go to random position here. So we're gonna repeat, let's say pick a random. Alright, so I'm gonna wrap it up here soon. Let's just get this over with. So when I start as a clone, we are going to, this is where we want to make the more X. So we want X, and this is where it has to be this sprite only. That's very important. And we want Y for this sprite only. Now what we're going to do is when I start as a clone, we are going to set X and Y to pick a random from 10 to 150, let's say. Same with the Y, 10 to 150. So what we're going to do now is that we're obviously going to do that same thing that we did with the player. We are going to take this, we're going to do set X to this, set Y to that. We're going to put that in the objects. And now, instead of player X, we're going to do X and Y here. So now what we have, as you can see, different objects all right here. They're all right there. Hold on, let me just take a hide, put it right here, take a show, put it there. Boom. So now, as you can see, we have all these objects here, which are right now, they can move around with the screen when we look around. They move around with the screen when we move around with our player. And yeah, it's pretty awesome, eh? Oh wait, change the clones from 10 to 20, just so we have more guys to look at. So that's that. Now what we're going to do, I've noticed that they're all bundled together. Let's set this to 500. 500, yeah. Now they're not even that spread out that much. So this just shows you how big the map is. Set this to like, I don't know, 5,000. Boom! Where'd they all go? They're gone. Okay, you know what? I overdid it. But okay, there they all are. They're all down here. And down there. Okay, you know what? Just do 1,000. I feel like 1,000 is good. There we go. There they all are. That's it. That's more like it. So that's 10 to 1,000. Let's set this to negative 1,000 and negative 1,000. Now they can be all over the map. Now they're kind of everywhere. You can see that right here. So what we're gonna do now is we drew a bunch of other costumes here. Let's switch costume to pick a random from 1 to 4. That seems like a legit number. Here we go. Now we have my face over there. That's not actually what my face looks like. We have a rock. We have a tree that's on top of a bush. We have down here a very beautiful car. I wonder who drew that. Up here we have, and that's the face. And yeah, more trees and more. Why did I only make broken down trees? I didn't even draw a normal tree that's standing up. That's kind of sad, actually. Okay, So now that we have that, let's just change the amount. Let's say 50, because woo! We have a whole lot of faces and stuff. Alright, next thing we want to do, we're going to make a sprite. We're going to call this black. Because this is literally just going to be something that's black. So look, we're just going to make a square here. We're going to make another square here. Let's try and make it even. There. There. And now what we're going to do, we're going to set the X and the Y to 0. So we have this nice black outline. We are going to do forever. Go to 0, 0 when this flag clicked. And we are going to forever go to front layer. So now you can't see all the objects that are on the side, and when we look away, they go gone, and that just makes it look a whole lot more nicer. Okay, so that's that. Now the last thing we're going to do is code the glasses, or your treasures. I don't know why did I pick glasses? Alright, so we are going to have to make another one that's X for this sprite only, and Y for this sprite only. We're going to set this to 0 and 0. We're going to put when I started a clone. We're going to create clones. Now I'm going to show you the same thing here. We're going to call this create more awesome intelligent intelligent clones. Okay, we're 25 minutes in. We're gonna have to hurry this up. So we are going to repeat, let's say 10 to 25. We do not need 50 clones. We do not need 50 treasures. Max is 25. 25 treasures, that's a lot. Okay, so we are going to do the same thing. Let's just put the hide right here. We're going to put a show right here so the clones are only visible and not the actual sprite. We are going to do the same thing. We want to go to scroll X minus X and scroll Y minus Y. And now what we're going to do is we're going to set X to the same thing. We're going to pick a random from this. Minus 1,000 to 1,000. So now what we're going to do, we're going to change it up a little. We're going to do if touching the objects here. If we're touching the objects, let's set ghost to, let's say, 70. Oh wait, switch that to an if else. Do that to an if else. I forgot about that one part. Do this, and then if we're not touching the objects, we're going to set right here ghost to 0. So now what we have is kind of a working treasure game. Let's go see if we can find any glasses, because we need them glasses. Where are all the glasses? Oh wait, we didn't create the clones. Oh my god.
You stupid.
Create the clones in there. Create those clones. Otherwise, no treasures for you. Okay? Just no treasures. Alright, let me just add those there. It's kind of annoying. Alright, so now look, there we have glasses. We have glasses over there, and if so we have more glasses. So what happens is if these glasses are touching any of the objects, they should go like disappear-y. Let's just create more objects. Let's add 150 objects because I'm crazy and we need lots of objects. Holy! So there's a pair of glasses already. The boom, right there. That's what I'm looking for. Hidden glasses. Now, what that's going to change is that it's going to be hidden and it's going to be harder to find. They're green now. Who knew? Alright, so now that we're back, what we're going to do is we got to make it the treasures collectible. So we're going to do if touching the mouse pointer, or no, and we're gonna do if touching the mouse pointer and the mouse is down. So what we just did there is that if the sprite is clicked, then we are going to delete this clone. Let's make a new variable called score, and let's have it up there. Let's put the score like right there. How about that? So we're gonna change score by 1, and then we'll see how much score they get, because everybody needs a score. We're just gonna set the score to 0 so they don't have infinite score. And that's pretty much it. If you wanted to like change the ghost here by more, like let's say 90, you could do that too, and then they'd be harder to find unless they're not touching any of the objects here. You could also, maybe you could have just watched this so you know how to make a scrolling map like this. You also could just change how many more objects you have. Of course, some of the objects will go off of the map here. That's no big deal. And that's kind of it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please consider subscribing and smash that like button. And that's kind of it for me.